Today we're looking at The Muppets Christmas Carol, a 1992 musical comedy directed by Brian Henson. This is the fourth theatrical film in the Muppets franchise and was the first film to be produced following the death of Muppets creator Jim Henson. Although artistic license is taken to suit the aesthetic of the Muppets, The Muppet Christmas Carol otherwise follows the original story of A Christmas Carol, written by Charles Dickens.
Oh, you're recording?
All right, now what?
Yes, we're all recording.
No, this is in the podcast. This is staying in. What do we do now?
How do you do podcast?
I think we all really hate Luke.
Oh, jeez. Hello, listeners.
Maybe
Welcome
take that
to
bit out.
welcome to that bombshell straight off the top. Welcome back to the
don't
Christmas and
actually
Chill
hate you.
podcast, day 3. We're back again with Maddie and Amy today. Luke is out once again off the podcast. He did send in a review, so we will chuck it in there
But
somewhere.
none of us realised he wasn't going to be on until about 10 minutes ago,
Yeah.
which was 9:30 at night.
Yes,
I'm tired.
we were all ready. We were all ready at like 8:30 or something to record this, but we were waiting for him.
It's been an adventure
I
of a
blame
night.
Josh mostly.
I mean, hey, I was none the wiser to the fact that there was an email sitting in my inbox. So, but we learn, we move on. Exciting times. How are we, ladies?
I am very good tonight,
Good.
actually.
Yeah.
What have you been
Very
up
good.
to?
Watching A Christmas Carol, a Muppets one, in fact.
Yes.
That's funny. Did you
What
enjoy it?
have you been up to?
Oh, not much. Just hanging out.
I think we did this gag last night. I don't know if we can redo the gag.
Yeah. We
Oh, all right. So, yes, we did watch The Muppets Christmas Carol this evening, starring Michael
Michael
Caine.
Caine.
Michael Caine, who just definitely instantly makes any movie better. What did we think of this movie? Off the top of the bat, I would just like to say this is definitely, of the 3 we've watched, this is my favourite so far.
Yep.
I definitely
reckon-
agree with that.
I think there's so many reasons, but I mean the obvious one is it's the Muppets. It's so hard not to like the Muppets.
It was so casually funny. Like, all the jokes were so casual, but so hilarious.
Yeah.
It's so pantomime. It's so slapstick. Maddie, do you want to take us through the story of the movie?
Nah, do you?
Go on, off you go.
You tell us the story, Josh. I feel like you control
Okay.
the podcast too much. You tell us the story.
Yeah, but shouldn't that mean one of us should
I'm
tell
fine.
the story?
It's
he
the
controls
story
it.
of Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carol. So Ebenezer Scrooge, who hates Christmas, is visited by 3 ghosts. One of Christmas past, one of Christmas present, and one of Christmas future. Without giving away the
What's
story...
this about Christmas presents?
Pardon?
What's this about Christmas presents?
You're funny. Without giving away the story, it was very heartwarming.
Yes. It was.
Can I just say, Michael Caine looks rockin' for however old he is.
It was like
this
92,
film.
and I reckon he looks better now than he did then, to be fair.
You know, do you dig the mutton chops?
No.
Really? Man, Amy, what about you? What did you think of the mutton chops?
I thought they were all right.
I like the salt and pepper
Man, this
hair
is-
he was going on. That was good. The bit of a mullet, if you will. Salt and pepper mullet.
It was good. It was good. So Christmas Carol, I've actually never watched this film before. I've never watched.
Really?
No, yeah,
I have.
I know there's another Muppets Christmas movie, and that's the one that I remember. But I haven't seen this one, the Christmas Carol one.
Oh, I haven't seen this one, not the Muppets version of it.
Ah, yeah. But yeah, I thought it was really good. It was really fun. Based on kind of what we were saying yesterday when we were talking about what makes a Christmas movie and like it's the journey and like the meaning, this film definitely had like it ticked all the boxes, I thought.
Yes, I would have very much agreed with that.
Yeah. Yes, I was thinking exactly that, Josh, as I was watching it. I was like, Josh would approve.
This ticks every box.
And let's be real, Michael Caine did a lot better job than Tom Hanks did.
Oh, different scenarios. Could Tom Hanks play Ebenezer Scrooge well?
No.
Well, because I think Michael Caine could play the conductor of the Polar Express better.
Yes.
Like
I
it's
reckon.
not,
I do
it doesn't
too.
work both ways. It only works one way.
Yeah, no, definitely. I agree. I definitely think Michael Caine could play the conductor on the Polar Express.
Tickets, please, love. That was my Michael.
Was that your Michael Caine
that was
impersonation?
my impersonation of Steve Coogan doing an impersonation of Michael Caine.
I told you not to blow the bloody nose off.
Sorry, Amy, that's a reference of The Trip that me and Josh recently watched, where...
It's a really good movie.
See, this is why Luke needs to be here. Because I'm like left out, like the third wheel.
You're not the third wheel. If anything, me and Amy are the couple and Josh is the third wheel.
Josh.
That's right. I'm the strong third. So, Muppets Christmas Carol. Let's talk about how Christmassy this film was and like kind of the central themes and the meaning behind it. Because I guess that's something that we picked up so far on the podcast between the other two films. So, all the films have a meaning and there's growth and there's change. What did we think about this film and what kind of messages it was giving out? How Christmassy was it?
Amy? I did the retelling of the story. You give your opinion first, and so I can go, yes, I agree.
Well, to be honest, I actually at the start, maybe I was bouncing off Mum. Actually, I keep mentioning her.
Hi,
through this whole
Tracy.
thing.
Hope you're well.
Hi, Tracy. How's it going?
And she's probably listening right now to this. But I kind of thought the start I wasn't into it, but then as it went on, I started to like it and enjoy it. But I thought it was Christmassy. Yeah, it was good.
Yeah. That's well done. Bravo.
This is why you don't throw me under the bus,
I
Maddie.
thought it was very Christmassy. I
Maddie-
liked all the songs that they wrote for the film. I thought they were quite Christmassy
Yes.
and something
Probably
I hadn't heard before. You
better
know what I
than
mean? I can
yesterday.
get very sick of Christmas carols. Working in retail, I don't want to listen to Christmas songs ever because they're always on repeat. So it was good to listen to some Christmas carols I hadn't heard before.
Do you think on that point, because I definitely agree, the Christmas songs I think were a really nice touch to the film and that they weren't just normal Christmas carols, they were songs written for the movie. And I thought that was really good. How many Christmas songs should be in a Christmas movie, if any? Are you expecting the cast to sing at some point in a Christmas movie?
You'll expect Christmas carols at one point in a Christmas movie, right? Like, you'll expect a character
I
or
reckon.
some characters to sing Christmas carols. I think that's...
Or the Christmas carols are in the background. Like, they're like, I don't know, walking through town and there just happens to be carolers or something. Like,
Yeah. I mean, a very common thing that we picked up so far of the three movies, and I'll be really interested to see if it happens as we keep moving on, is that each film there's been specific singing. So,
and the songs have been like specific to the actual movie or show or whatever.
That's right.
It's not been like, well, I guess in Polar Express there are a couple of songs there at the end, but like, yeah, it hasn't been like, I don't know, Jingle Bells or whatever.
yeah, no, definitely, it's not. Yeah, it's not like they're going out of the way to sing, Deck the Halls or something. They're songs written specifically for that movie. So yeah, I think that'll be an interesting thing to look out for. there were quite a lot of songs in this movie.
Yes. There were quite a few songs in this movie.
Yeah, it was. Do we think that there were too many songs, or do you think it hit just right?
No, I think it hit just right. I think maybe a couple more songs wouldn't have... If they'd sung a song every time they went back into the past or the future or the present, then it would be too many. But I think it was just the amount of right songs.
Yeah. No, that's fair. Can definitely get behind that.
So, Josh, like as a musician yourself, what did you think about the songs that they wrote for the film? Do you think they were good enough for the film? Would you have changed anything?
It's a really good question. I think that the songs... So I did actually have some thoughts when the songs were playing, in that I think that they were very... very simple. Really simple. So whereas like a lot of Christmas songs have like different like verses and tempos and crescendos, a lot of the Muppet songs were of the same pace and of the same style. But I think that suited the movie because it was set in old-timey, London, and it was a Muppets movie, so it's never going to be incredibly intricate. It's going to be quite plain and simple because what you see is what you get with a Muppets movie. I did enjoy Michael Caine singing at the end. I thought that was quite nice.
Yeah, that was cute. All the songs were quite repetitive as well, which was good because they get stuck in your head.
Definitely.
Yeah.
What did we think about the little frog dying?
Don't talk to me about Tiny Timmy, okay?
Tiny Timmy. Man,
He didn't die. Okay, spoiler alert. He doesn't die in the end because Ebenezer Scrooge becomes good. But if he was continuing to be bad, he would have died. So Tiny Timmy didn't die. How dare you?
But man, what an emotional roller coaster that was.
I was a bit sad. I almost cried.
It was, it definitely got to that point. It was like, that's the first time I felt that kind of feeling, or close to that feeling, of the movies we've watched so far, for sure.
I felt like Michael Caine's, his acting was very simple, but it, really hit hard. Does that make sense?
Yeah, definitely.
Like, he was very emotional in the parts that needed the emotion, and I thought that was really good.
Yeah, bar humbug. It was really good. Bar.
Humbug.
Humbug.
Oh, you ruined it.
What were we doing? I don't get it.
There's supposed to be a pause between bar and humbug is what he was doing. So I said bar, and you went bar.
Bar. Humbug. So, if we're looking at this movie through the scope of the movies that we've watched so far, so I know that I'm doing a lot of comparison on this one, but I think I'm focusing on this because the movie was quite good. I don't have a lot that I want to pull apart from the Muppets movie because it felt like a really well-rounded and completed Christmas movie. And to be fair, that's probably because it's actually a Charles Dickens story that they've just adapted, and that's probably why it goes so well. But so like when I'm thinking about this movie, I'm comparing it more to the other films because it was quite a good movie. So my question is, do you think that as far as Christmas films go, are they close to each other? So say like the Grinch, for example, and this movie, would you say that they're on the same kind of level when it comes to Christmas movie, and similar with the Polar Express? Like, how big is the gap between the movies that we've watched so far?
I don't know. I don't want to compare them because they're all so different. Does that make sense? I felt like the humour in the Muppets flowed really naturally. Same way it kind of did in the Grinch, like his smile and a couple of the rhymes in the Grinch were pretty natural. Whereas I feel like a lot of the humour, if there were any moments of humour in the Polar Express, were quite forced. Does that make sense?
No, definitely.
Whereas the Muppets, it just rolled off the tongue. Like Rizzo the Rat and Gonzo having those moments in between the story was very funny. and like broke it up.
And just bringing it back to what you mentioned before about the Grinch is when we were talking about the Grinch, we talked about the fourth wall breaks and all the looks of the camera. That was very similar to that Muppet. So
Yes.
you immediately felt included and drawn in.
I think fourth wall breaks are naturally funny though,
Yeah.
because it is audience participation. I don't know. Amy, thoughts? Throw you under the bus time. It's my new segment. Throw Amy under the bus time.
We'll get a sting for that.
Thanks. That was the sting. I sang it.
Okay, cool. Good to know.
I actually agree with Maddie. I feel like the Grinch and this movie, like, were quite aligned with each other. Like, I wouldn't say that the Polar Express was anything like the Grinch or this. Like, I feel like, yeah, I mean, I don't know, because maybe it's because, I mean, I don't even know if there was no comedy in the Polar Express, I feel, at all. So yeah, I feel like it's at a whole nother level. Yeah, and just, I think even just like the type of movie and the way the story was told is just so different. So, yeah.
Definitely. If the four of us were Muppets from this movie, what Muppets would we be?
Josh, you would be Gonzo because of your giant nose.
Wow. Maddie, you would be that red-headed beaker. Meep, 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 meep. Whatever.
That is so me.
That is you, 100%.
Yeah, and I'll be Maddie's partner.
Amy, you're Miss Piggy.
No.
Did you know Miss Piggy has her own makeup collaboration that's just come out?
I think I did know that, actually.
Really?
Ciate London, I think that's the brand. Yeah, they've done a collab with Miss Piggy.
What, is it called Mud?
No, I'm pretty sure it's just called Miss Piggy.
All right, that's...
Wait, but who's Luke?
Luke is...
Well, you were very mean last night, so
Yeah,
I feel like you've got one in the works, Amy.
I'm just not going to say.
I think...
You've got something lined up, I know you.
I think Luke would be... I'm just trying to think about the characters that were in A Christmas Carol and not just
Is
the
he
Muppets.
Sam the Eagle?
That's what I thought. I was going the Eagle. The teacher, the headmaster.
Yeah, I think so. I don't know.
We'll go with that. We'll go with it.
I mean,
Or
he
is he
kind of
Tiny
needs
Timmy?
He needs to Tiny Timmy. So he dies, maybe.
No, he doesn't
From
die.
which reality,
Spoiler
Maddie?
alert, he
Jeez.
does not die.
Well, I mean, he's not here, so maybe he does
Jeez.
die.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Far out.
Well, I like how, like, when one of us is away, it's just time to roast.
I wonder if he actually listened to yesterday's podcast, because he hasn't said anything to me. So
Let's not mention it and see how long it takes.
It will be interesting. Do you think that, given this was set in the 1850s, that Kermit the Frog was susceptible to COVID?
No, because wasn't the plague around that time?
but the thing is, he wouldn't want to get COVID because then Tiny Timmy would.
Maybe that's why Tiny Timmy dies.
He would not survive COVID. Tiny Timmy.
Tiny Timmy doesn't die, but he just has respiratory problems for the rest of his life.
Poor Timmy. Do you think Muppets are susceptible to coronavirus given that they're made of felt?
Can I ask a question about Muppets? Where does the word like, I get puppet, but why the M?
Like movable puppets? Like, no, puppets are movable.
I was like, you know what I mean?
Oh my
Like, why are
God.
they Muppets?
Do you want me to Google this real quick?
Sure.
Yeah.
The other thing that potentially may be worth mentioning is that this was the first Muppets film that was produced post the death of Jim Henson. So I believe it was his son. I'm not 100% on that. Brian Henson. I believe it's his son that took over. But yeah, I thought this was quite good. I think it was definitely very in line with, I guess, the Muppets as in general and kind of what the Muppets we come to know and love from the Muppets.
You
I should
don't,
say.
like, see them as Muppets. You know what I mean? You see them as, like, human characters.
Yeah.
It kind of pulls you away from them actually being puppets because of the direction and, the style of it. You know what I mean? Like, they're
Yeah.
actual people and actual characters, not... Okay, so I've just Googled it. They're called Muppets because Jim Henson liked the sound of it. He told journalists that the word was a combination of puppet and marionette because it sounded more professional and plausible than the truth.
Okay, sure.
He just liked the word Muppet.
That's
And
good. You
that's what I
Muppet.
call you, Josh. So
Yeah, exactly. I think that this movie has really. I think it's put me in a really good kind of mood, like a good Christmassy mood. I know I keep coming back to this point, but I think that's the whole point of this podcast is to look at it through the lens of Christmas and you know, how much I enjoyed the movie. And if I'm thinking about Christmas movies, I know it's quite early on, but I think this is top 5 material easy. And I'm not sure if it's going to be beaten, to be honest.
I think it's top 5 material for me. I really liked it. I was laughing the whole way through. I got Christmas cheer out of it. I don't know. It was very wholesome. Very wholesome. I like that. What about you, Amy?
I think, like, because I'm still, like, my family is still, like, busy at the moment. We haven't, like, decked out the house yet. And so then it doesn't really felt like Christmas very much yet at the house.
Gotcha.
So, like, I think having the movie tonight, I think it really, like, set the mood. Like, I know we've watched already 2 Christmas movies, but tonight is like, yep, it's coming. Christmas is coming.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. It's been such a weird, long but short year. I keep writing 11. I keep forgetting that it's already December. You know what I mean? So it kind of put me in a Christmas mood. You're right, Amy.
Yeah.
Speaking of Christmas and all things terrifying, can we just talk about the spirits of Christmas for a moment and what the heck that first one was?
Spirit of the Past scared the shit out of me.
What
I
was
really
the-
don't like porcelain dolls. I'm afraid of them. And she looked like a porcelain doll and I was
Yeah.
afraid.
I was like, what was this weird floating child's head?
And she even had, like, a kid's voice too. Like,
Oh.
why?
But her eyes were like Muppet-like. They blinked really slowly. So I feel like it was half Muppet, half CGI.
Yeah. It
yeah,
was
it was weird.
It was not
I
okay.
didn't like it.
Yeah, I didn't like that.
Also, like Future, and it was just like this giant
Yeah.
Dementor.
That was so weird.
Bit weird. But I still liked it. It didn't take away from the movie. It just was a bit like, this is questionable. Like the Polar Express, very questionable.
One thing that, if I was going to critique one thing, I think that Ebenezer jumped from being a grumpy man to being a happy man very fast.
Yeah, I think...
So between the span of the first spirit and the second, it was like by the time he got to the second spirit, he was already done. Like, he was joking with that second spirit right at the start about, I can't remember the joke they made about all the food and all the family and like...
Yeah, and then it's kind of like at that point, it's like, well, then why do you still need the other 2 if he's already at that point, like starting to anyway?
Yeah, and I don't know if that comes down to a couple of things, like one being a kids movie, maybe you do need to play into that a bit more for kids, but I don't know if that was a direction choice or if Michael Caine is not as good an actor as we all think he is.
Hey, how dare you?
She was only 16.
Funny. I don't know. I think, he kept saying, like, please don't show me anymore. Like, please don't. But I think they had to push him. Otherwise, he wouldn't have changed completely.
Yeah,
That's
no,
what I got out of it anyway.
no, definitely. Like, I definitely agree with that. I just think the transition from Ebenezer, the cranky man, to Ebenezer, the loving Christmas man, could have been a bit slower.
That's true. Have you, either of you read the book?
No,
No.
have you?
Yeah, I read the book. I feel like I have. I went through a phase where I was like, I'm all about the classics, man. So I feel like it was in there.
I love Jane Austen.
No, never liked her. Yeah, I'm a feminist. Yeah, no, I went through a phase of reading classics, and I feel like I did, but I can't remember it that well. So it might be on my list to read. I don't know. It was pretty good. I liked it better than the Have you watched the Christmas Carol with Jim Carrey? And it's like the animation of
Is that
Polar
the-
Express.
Is that the one in like 2009 something?
Yeah, it's got the same animation.
Isn't
like,
that on
team
our
as-
list?
No,
Is it?
no. We've only got one Christmas Carol movie.
Are you sure?
Yes, I'm very sure.
Right.
Yeah, the 2009 ones, I watched that in the cinema and it was 3D and it scared the shit out of me.
Yeah,
Really?
exactly.
But I also remember in that one, he was a dickhead for longer. I was going to say, when we were talking about just before, I feel like in that version, he was like grumpy for longer. But I don't know. It was a long time ago.
Yeah, right. Gotcha. Yeah, see, that's really interesting. But like, I that's the smallest of criticisms that I think I can give this movie. I was just super happy to be sitting down watching it because, I mean, there were so many jokes and so many laughs. It was like heartfelt. It was sweet. It had songs, Tiny Timmy nearly died. It was, it didn't have any roller coasters though.
Like literally roller coasters?
Yeah, the only roller coaster was Tiny Timmy, but that's
I mean, there was the flying bit. I don't know if you count that as a roller coaster.
No.
man. How good was the green screen?
Hey, pretty good for 1992 if you ask me.
It was fantastic. There was actually quite a lot of those moments where there was one shot where it definitely didn't need to be shot, where it was Michael Caine landing after flying, but it didn't show his face, so it was very clearly a stunt double. But the shot was so close up on just his legs that I was like, you could have just skipped that shot altogether. Yeah, I think that this was a great movie. Maddie, I'm going to ask you, did you like this movie and would you put it in your top 5? Well, we've kind of mentioned the top 5, but did you like this movie?
Yeah, I really like this movie. Like I said, like there was some really genuine laughter coming from me while watching it. Like I had fun watching it. Michael Caine is always good, and I'm a big fan of Kermit and Miss Piggy in their relationship. I like to follow that, keep in touch with them. I didn't realise how much of a main character Gonzo is. I thought like there was only a couple Muppets movies with him as the main character, but he is definitely a main character of the Muppets, isn't he?
Yeah. No, definitely. I think a lot, when you think of... I mean, when I think of a Muppet movie, I think of Muppets in Space. That's like the first one that
But
comes
that's
to
Gonzo.
my head. And that's a Gonzo movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think, man, I love Gonzo. I think he's fantastic. Very funny. Very funny. Such like a reliable character, too. I think he makes a good choice. Because, I mean, I wouldn't want to see Kermit as the narrator.
No, I think Kermit's too
Yeah.
overplayed.
I don't think it would work. No.
Be too much. But, yeah, I think Gonzo... And I don't think Kermit... I mean, I'm going to say this. I personally don't find Kermit the Frog funny.
I don't think he's supposed to be funny.
Well, that's good because I definitely don't.
Or is that just me,
good.
or am I just picking that up? I think he's like the
He's-
more responsible Muppet.
Yeah.
He's got his head on his shoulders, sort of thing. Whereas all the
Yeah.
other Muppets are a bit
Yes.
wild and...
Yeah, definitely. Oh, man, you just reminded me. One gag I really did enjoy. Sorry, I've absolutely derailed. I've opened a new tab
Yeah,
all
no,
of a
it's
sudden.
fine. I
while we were-
was talking, but it's fine. Keep going.
My apologies. I just thought I'd mention this. I think potentially my favourite joke of the film was when Animal appeared, got ready to sit on, play the drums, and then just played the triangle. That was, thought it was brilliant.
At the start, it was Gonzo and Rizzo the Rat, and I'm pretty sure Rizzo the Rat said, "I'm just here for the food." And I was like, "That is me. I'm also just here for the food."
Amy, what did you think of the movie? Did you enjoy the movie?
I really, as I said before, I think like this is the movie that's like started to set me into the mood of Christmas, and yeah, I really enjoyed it. I thought and I think it had a really good like story and stuff, moral of the story behind it as well, which was really good. Like, I mean, we keep saying looking into that every movie, but I think out of all of them, I reckon this one was probably the best. And also, it had a bit of OT in it as well with Mr. Tiny Timmy. So
something you could relate to, Amy. Finally.
All I want is one dying child, and I finally got it.
Oh, finally, some occupational therapy I can get involved with.
What did you think of his crutch?
Kind of shit, but...
Like, is that going to really help him, or is it just...
I mean, if it was current times, we'd probably prescribe him a wheelchair, but it's not current times, is it?
These are
also, he's a
COVID times
frog,
we're living in.
Amy.
What?
He's a frog.
Well, frogs need wheelchairs too.
Yeah, exactly. Especially in the Muppets, all right?
Don't be so froggiest.
Oh, brilliant. That's the best perspective I think we're ever going to get on this podcast, is that...
Josh, what do you think?
There's not a lot to say about this movie because I really enjoyed it. I think sometimes it's easier to critique things because it gives us more opportunities to talk about it. But when you enjoy something, all you kind of want to do is just sit down and watch and take it in, and that's what I did. For the 1 hour 40 something that movie ran, I was in from start to finish. So, definitely a really enjoyable movie. I really enjoyed it.
It's time for Maddie's segment. Insert sting here. Now, Josh.
I'm sorry, what just happened?
I just gave you a moment to create a sting for me so I could do my own segment.
I'm sorry. What just happened?
You need to make a theme song for her.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I left it blank there, like we've been doing with Luke, so you can just insert a little something there.
Well, listeners, you decide on whether whatever I did was really good or really crap.
I bet you're just going to leave it and not put anything on it. And
I was. I'll come up with something.
Okay, do it next podcast. I liked my little insert sting here. Now, Josh, out of 10 Christmas hats, what would you give this movie?
I'm not going to jump the full 10 because I don't think anything's perfect. But I'm going to give it a 9.
A 9, yes.
Definitely a 9. I think that this was a really enjoyable movie. I don't have anything bad to say about it. I really loved it. The Muppets are hilarious.
Now, this was your pick as well, wasn't it? You hadn't seen this one, but you did pick it.
Yeah, and that was part of the reason I picked it, because I haven't seen this movie before. So, unlike a couple of the other picks that we've had so far, it definitely wasn't nostalgia based. I think I just really wanted to watch it, and I'm glad that we put this on the list.
Yeah, definitely. Amy, how many Christmas hats out of 10?
I reckon an 8.
Yep.
8 out of 10. Yep.
Nice.
Yeah.
Any reasoning behind the 8, or just happy with an 8?
I think it was just an overall good Christmas movie.
Yeah,
Lots of fun, enjoyable. Yeah.
Nice.
Very nice. I'm going to go in between and say an 8.5. Like you said, Josh, I think the jump from Ebenezer being a good guy was a bit too fast for me. So thematically, I was a bit like, I'm not buying it. But it was a very enjoyable, fun movie, and it's definitely put me in the mood to watch some more Chrissy movies. And I think it's good that it's the third one as well, because we've had a bit more comparison now. You know what I mean?
Definitely. I think that Christmas catalogue is growing.
Yes, definitely. And I think it's a bit of a mix as well, because, like, while I enjoyed The Grinch, it wasn't my favourite. Polar Express definitely wasn't my favourite. And, like, this has put me in a good mood and a hopeful mood that the rest are going to be okay.
Hopefully, fingers crossed. Well, look, thank you so much for tuning in, guys. Once again, you can check us out on Instagram. We are on Instagram at Christmas and Chill Podcast. If you have any questions, any pressing or exciting things you want us to bring up on the podcast, feel free to send them through to mailbag.christmasandchill@gmail.com, or you can leave us a comment or send us a DM on Instagram as well. Tomorrow we'll be watching Deck the Halls, which I think is your pick. Is that right, Manny?
I thought it was... Oh, no, it is my pick. Yes. I was getting it confused with Jingle All the Way. No, this is my pick. Quite a good Christmas movie with Matthew Broderick. And any relation, Josh? No. And Danny DeVito, Eggman himself. So it's going to be a good one, I reckon.
Fantastic. Look, thank you so much for tuning in, guys. And we will chat to you tomorrow.
See ya.
Yes. Bye.
Bye. Oh, also, Luke's segment will go in here. Bye.
Hello, Christmas podcast listeners. This is Luke again. Today we watched A Muppet Christmas Carol. It was released in 1992, pretty sure. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. I'll see you guys tomorrow.